The fans really get to be a part of it with the local music.
Local music is Homegrown. Sunday nights at 10 with Lori Steele.
Don't blame me. It's those new low-flow toilets.
Only on KOMP 92.3.
The old ones you could flush a dachshund puppy.
The Rock Station.
Welcome back to the Homegrown Show. I am Lori Steele, and I want to welcome into the studio for the first time the Solid Sons. Welcome, guys.
Hey. Thanks.
So before we get started, let's go down the line. I don't care which end starts, but introduce yourself, what you do in the band, so that people listening know who they're listening to.
I'm Jim, and I play bass.
My name's Brian. I play the drums.
My name is John, and I play guitar and I sing.
All right. So the reason you're in here is you have a brand new CD. It's coming out called Ungodly Hour, hitting stores when?
Friday.
So it's hitting stores on Friday as well?
Yeah, it'll be available Friday.
You
Okay.
can pre-order it right now on Bandcamp, but it'll be available online, digitally, like iTunes, Amazon, all that stuff, but physically and online 23rd.
Okay. Isn't it typically a Tuesday that they do release stuff?
Yeah, we're kind of rebels.
Yeah, we fight the system.
You just can't play well with others. Is that what's going on? All right. Well, hopefully you'll be playing well with House of Zombie and One Ton Project, because they're playing with you on Friday, October 23rd at the CD release party at Vamped. You guys have done a lot of shows with One Ton Project here in town. Are they one of the bands you guys gig with a lot?
They kind of went on hiatus for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But they were big inspirations for me, at least, back in the day. And now that they're resurging, it's kind of an honor to play with a band that I grew up with, you know? So we played their CD release show, and I couldn't think of anybody else that I wanted to play with for this one.
Yeah, we're super stoked to be playing with them because they are just phenomenal.
Yeah, they're a great group of guys.
Yeah, we've had them here on the show too. Really talented guys. So that'll be a fun show. It's a free show, so that is an added bonus.
Yeah.
Ungodly Hour, is there a story behind that?
Yeah, I say that it's a nod to the creative process. You know, nothing good was made at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It happens at 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. So art and music and poetry and all these really great creative processes, you know, they're not usually daytime things. It happens. Inspirato attacks at the ungodly hour.
Okay. Interesting. Are you the one that does most of the creative writing for the Solid Sons?
Yeah.
Thankfully.
The best way to describe it is...
Well, no one ever expects the drummer to write anything. Come on now.
I hope they don't.
Yeah.
I start with essentially like a skeleton, like a sketch of a song. You know, some words. A song's never finished when I bring it to the guys. It's just kind of an idea, and then they really help me flesh it out. But as far as how a song comes to be and lyrics and stuff like that, I bring them, you know, the bare bones, and they help me fill it in.
Okay. All right. Lyrically, are you the one who writes all the lyrics?
Yeah.
Where do you draw inspiration from as far as lyrically?
With this album, I was trying to get away from like the really angsty stuff. Like angst just kind of comes naturally, and it's something that's really easy that for me to sing about. But with this album, I kind of try to step outside of my comfort zone and sing about other things, you know, observational stuff, life, you know.
Puppies, rainbows.
No, I definitely didn't hear any puppies and rainbows on this. In fact, this seems like it's a much well, I don't want to say much darker, but darker and heavier than some of the stuff that you've done in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still that like funky bass line going on in the stuff. But it was it a conscious decision to go like darker?
Absolutely. Our last album, we're really proud of it. Lacunas came out about 2 years ago, and it was really refined. It was a rock album. There was funk and blues like we love to do, but it was very honed in and precise.
Well, in what aspect?
Like
I mean,
very, very produced, very approachable. Like the guitars weren't up too loud. It was very, it was like easy listening rock, and at least in my opinion, that's how I feel about it. But with this album, it was a very conscious decision. We set out to only make the album that we wanted to make, like that we wanted to listen to. we're all fans of rock music. We love all kinds of different rock music, but it's that rock that sort of binds us. And with this, we all agreed we wanted it heavier. We tuned guitars down a whole step. So everything just right out of the gate feels like heavier. It's got more weight to it, yeah.
Yeah, and a little angrier going on this time, too. Was that something that was just kind of organic and natural, or was that something that you were kind of channeling as well?
I'd say both. I set out to make a harder album, but I also, like I said, getting outside of my comfort zone and staying away from just that pure angst. What's the evolution of angst? Where does a 20-something-year-old go, from singing about girls and wants and desire to, what they truly are afflicted by? And I see it as a natural progression from where I was then to, more sophisticated sound and feelings and lyrics. It's definitely, if you listen to the albums in order, it's a clear progression of sound.
And the other side of it too is just that we've been together for 4 years now, and it takes time for a band to actually sound the way that they're supposed to sound. I mean, it takes time for everyone in the band to kind of meld together all their influences, all their things they like. And I think that this album of the three is the first album that really sounds the way that the Solid Sons are supposed to sound. It's taken us this long to kind of all really come together and mix all the way together because our tastes are so varied. I mean, in our own listening, we don't even like the same kind of music, the three of us. There's stuff that we like commonly, but we each have music that's like the other two can't stand, So, I mean, like, I listen to gospel music a lot.
We literally listen to gospel music on the way here.
There it is.
I'm not joking.
Yeah. I was the church bass player for a long time, so
I played in a punk rock band in high school.
And so, okay, so stepping back to the prior album, you were saying it was very polished and very commercial. Did you just kind of feel that way after the fact, or when you go back and listen and say, wow, that's how that feels to me? Or was that an intentional act as well, where you went out trying to achieve that?
That's a really great question. And the fact of the matter, whether I like to admit it or not, is we were exactly doing that. To create a more approachable album was the intention with that. I let the engineer and producer who worked with me on the album have a lot of creative freedom and control as to I really didn't have any hand in the mix. The recording process, the way the songs were produced, absolutely. But when it came to mixing it, I let him do it, and I didn't really say a thing because I wanted it to be what you hear on the radio. I wanted it to be that polished. You hear every note and every cymbal hit, and it was laser focused, and I really wanted it to on this album just make it feel more like we are on stage, raw and organic. And
so that second album, was that conscious decision to be more polished a direct result of listening back to your first album?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the first one was so raw. It was just raw.
We recorded the first album live in 2 days. We tracked all the drums, bass, and guitar one day. I went back and did a couple guitar overdubs and vocals, and that was literally at 2 days, and that album was out the door, 13 tracks.
Me and Brian tracked 14 songs in one day.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
So I'm really proud of what we did in 2 days, but the Lacunas, the second album, was the direct response to that. So we had the money.
So when was it just a financial thing that obviously, you know, it's always a financial thing with bands, right? But with the second album, I mean, when you listen back to the first one, was it just making you like cringe when you hear it, saying we could have done this so much better, or were you happy with the result?
Both. We can look back and we can hear every single mistake we made on that album and what we wish we would have done different.
Okay, so now taking that from listening back to the first one, what do you hear when you listen back to the second one that you're unhappy with?
I just wish that it was harder. That's it. I think that it doesn't hit as hard as I wanted in the spots that I wanted it to hit harder, and the lyrics are still me trying to kind of figure out my voice and what I wanted to talk about. And this album, we're past that now as a band, and I think as myself as a writer, I'm not figuring anything out anymore. I'm just saying what I want to say and how I want to say it, and it all fell together easier this time than it ever has.
So what do you feel when you listen to this one? Obviously, it's newer than the other ones, so you had less time to let it marinate.
Yeah.
But when you listen to it compared to the other ones when they were finished, what kind of sense of accomplishment do you get from it?
I'm ridiculously proud of this album.
Yeah, we've progressed as a band just tremendously, and this album is proof of it.
I've spent I played guitar maybe around 13 and been at different bands and projects, and I'd done I think 4 solo albums, and this is by far my finest work. It's the thing that if I can be remembered for anything, this is it. Just this stands on its own in my opinion, and I wouldn't change anything on it.
Yeah, on the first 2 albums, I mean, there's things on there that I can find that like really bug me. You know, there's nothing on this album that I kind of wince at. I mean, it's like, I think the album's really solid. I mean, all the way through from front to back, it flows well. The songs we think are great, and they're great to play live. So
was the biggest change, in your opinion, in the pre-production, the writing aspect, or in the recording aspect?
All of it. We did 2 albums in 2 years. And then we took 2 years off from even thinking about recording. And in doing so, we said we're not going to go into the studio until we have an album. Like until the songs are written, until we try them out live and we get a feel for them and what the crowds respond to and what we like. So we didn't say, oh, we're going to go in March and we're going to record an album. We just said, oh, well, we got enough songs. I guess it's time to record an album. And then not putting that pressure on ourselves and just letting it be a natural creative process. We were allowed to really be selective in that. It was a vetting process. Been writing for 2 years. These are the songs that made the final cut.
And do you try them out on stage, or what is that? And so is it how you guys feel performing it, or how the audience responds to it? How do you make the decision on which one?
Well, I think for us,
continue?
First, it's how we feel. You know, so when we're just the 3 of us in our rehearsal spot, you know, and I mean, we wrote songs this time around that are fun for us to play, that we really get, you know, into and excited about playing, that we really feel in them. You know, that's where it happens first. And then when we feel like it's ready, then we'll drop it in a live show.
Yeah, that energy gets amplified big time on a live stage. The crowd feels it. If we're having fun, it doesn't even matter if we mess up. The crowd, they love it.
Okay. So you and I, John, don't always see eye to eye on which song off of an album is the one that maybe should be getting spun, which is fine.
Well, I think we agree this time, right, on Black
But
Mother?
yeah, I was actually going to say this time around, when I saw you guys perform live last month, you know, the song that I added was definitely the one that just jumped out at me as being the song that I wanted to add. I didn't even know the name of the song at that point, Black Matter.
To me afterward, I remember and asked.
But that was definitely the one that I wanted, and it turned out to be the song that you wanted to add too. But, you know, in listening to the full album, Ungodly Hour, and previewing it prior to tonight, the songs that I actually that really caught my ear that I liked a lot were not the ones that are your favorites. So, but I'm going to play some of the ones that you want. I also want to play the ones that I want. Let's talk about Remember.
Okay.
I know that there's a hidden track there that is not part of what I'll be playing tonight. But you want to tell me about the actual song and maybe, you know, if the story includes what the hidden track is and why it's there or whatnot?
Yeah. Remember, essentially the way that I pick the songs to the way they progress on the album, the 9th track, there's 10 tracks. The 9th track feels like the last track. We end with it normally live. It's a very closing song.
It's an epic end of the rock show.
Exactly.
Song.
And so by the time that 10th one just queues up on your CD player, it's almost like you're surprised that it's there. It kind of stands out from the other songs. It's the least rocking song on the album. It's got
Sounds like the happiest.
It's melancholic, I guess. But it's very grooving. It's driving. The lyrics mean a lot to me. And even at the end of that, I said one more time, that isn't the final word. If for those listeners that managed to make it through 20 minutes of insane noise, there's one more little treat at the end.
Okay. Well, we're going to play Remember. This is the last official song on the album. The new album is called Ungodly Hour. The Solid Sons, my in-studio guest tonight on the Homegrown Show. That's the Solid Sons. Brand new stuff from them, a song called Remember off the new album Ungodly Hour. That's going to be released this Friday, October 23rd at Vamped. The Solid Sons in studio with me. We were chatting about that song, and I had to actually kind of cut that song because that continued on for 20 minutes, pretty much without a break in there. So that was the first song, or the first part of that. Remember the name of that one. The guys are going to do some stuff live in studio too. You want to tell me what song you're going to do right now? Tell the audience what you're going to perform and a little bit about it.
At our core, we are a rock band, but we also the blues comes really naturally to me. So we got a really cool blues song on this album called Overcast, which of all the songs on the album probably lends itself most to an acoustic performance. So that's the one one of the ones we decided to do. It's a
little angry for blues.
Yeah, but it's
John did write it.
Good point.
So it's I love the song. It happened one night, raining, in an empty house and an acoustic guitar, and I just wrote it.
All right. The Solid Sons are going to perform live in studio on the Homegrown Show.
Well, I lost my mind, and I lost my way. I lost my mind just the other day. All my skies turned from blue to gray. My mind, so I dug a hole. I lost my mind to save your soul. One more step now, and I'm out of control. Well, I lost my mind when I heard the sound. I lost my mind, but look what I found. I pulled myself right up out the dirty ground. Well, I lost my mind, and I lost my way. I lost my mind just the other day. The skies up above turned from blue to gray. Well, it starts coming down. When it rains, it's when it pours. Got a roof overhead, but it just ain't yours. There is nothing left for me to be. Oh, the sun likes to shine on everyone but me. Oh, the sun, yeah, the sun, oh, the sun is gonna shine on everyone but me. Yeah, the sun likes to shine on everyone but me. Oh, the sun likes to shine on everyone but me. Oh, the sun likes to shine on everyone but me.
Very nice. The Solid Sons live in studio on the Homegrown Show. That was a song called Overcast. You can find that on the new album Ungodly Hour. They are releasing it this Friday, October 23rd at Vamped. The CD release party there. House of Zombie and One Ton Project helping them out. It's a free show. It starts at 9 p.m. How much is the new album going to be selling for that night?
The physical copies will be $10 even.
And is that a special price for the CD release party, or is that just what the price is for the new album?
That'll be the price just kind of going forward. You can get a digital copy / sticker for $5. So if you're not into physicals and you're just going to put it on your iPad anyways, $5, you get the whole album and a sticker. And
are the prior albums going to be available that night as well?
So we'll have some digital download codes for the other stuff, but currently we don't have any physicals, so it's all iTunes digital stuff.
Okay. All right. Are you planning on doing just like all songs from the new album when you perform? So no flashback stuff from prior stuff?
Yeah, that is correct. We decided to just make it all about this album, but we got some other shows coming up, so we'll be mixing in the old stuff too.
Okay. Well, we're definitely talking all about the new one, Ungodly Hour, tonight. But I do also want to talk to you, since I have you here. The song that I was spinning from the last album, the latest track that I was playing, a song called Flesh and Bone. John, you made an incredible video for that, which you guys have available up on your website, which is...
The Solid Sons, that's SUNS.com.
Okay. So people can click through and check that out. You're going to put it up on your Facebook page too, right?
I'll repost it, and it's on YouTube and stuff like that.
So tell me about that, because it was such a really well done video. I was really impressed by it.
Thank you. The song actually has no political connotations whatsoever in the lyrics. So it's just a very personal. I'm singing it to one person. It's very intimate. But when it came down to, I wanted to make a music video for it, I could see how it could be misconstrued into, some really political imagery was kind of popping into my brain. And past politics, my goal when I just sat down before I did anything was, the theme was to just paint a picture of America in, the last 60 years or so. Good, bad, great, horrible. The things we don't want to look at, the things that we take pride in but shouldn't. And so there's nothing, party related. There's no, liberal or conservative views in the video. All it is images.
Right, and a lot of historic current event type stuff,
yeah.
Which I actually I'm really into history, current events, politics. So for me, it was really interesting to try and see if I could recognize where each of the different images came from. How did you compile them? Or obviously it was kind of like a timeline type thing, but where did you get all the footage from?
Through illegal.
Which we're not talking about that now. Wow, look at the time.
But yeah, it took me a few months to compile it all together, and I kind of lost myself in the process. Editing is something that I think that I'm good at, but I hate doing. So I just, at the end of the day, I saw a vision for this video, and I wanted to see it through, but it took its toll on me. We didn't play that song live for 6 months because I didn't want to hear it. Okay. But I'm really proud of the video. I love it.
And the funny thing about the whole video is that we're in the video for one frame, and
32nd of a second.
Yeah, and the thing is that because of all the images and stuff, and because we were all together, and even though John did all the editing, I suggested that we're in there just for a frame. Just because I didn't want it to be like everyone saying, "Oh, well, that's just what John's saying." So by putting us all three of us in that one frame, we kind of all took ownership of it.
I had no intention of putting us anywhere in that video. Jim requested it, and I agreed with it. I appreciated it. I was kind of surprised by it almost, because I didn't think that there was some really abrasive imagery in that video, and I thought that he wouldn't be okay with it. But the fact that he supports it and he's a big fan of it, it meant a lot to me, and I put it in. There's a frame towards the end of the video of just us on stage.
I mean, good, bad, or indifferent, past events or historical events happened, whether you like them, agree with them or not. I mean, they happened. So, yeah.
Jim, I think, says it best when we've talked about it before, and it's that all we did was hold up a mirror. And if you don't like what you see, that's on you. There's no lies being told in this video. All it is historical footage and like you said, current events, and it's just shown in such a manner back to back that's really hard to take in.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That video is something you can't Google and find yourself. Take any one portion of clips, you can Google it, you'll find it. It's American history in a 5-minute song?
It was something like that.
Yeah, it was really well done though, and if your interest is piqued, then you should definitely hop on and check it out. Flesh and Bone is the name of the song from the Solid Sons off of the prior album. But other than that one little tangent, tonight is really all about the new album, Ungodly Hour. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll do some more stuff off the new album. We'll do something more acoustic here in studio, and we'll chat some more with the Solid Sons. Stick around.
If you want local and unsigned music in Las Vegas,
it's not a national show.
Really local, really good.
there is only one place to get it.
Should I tell him or should you? You tell him.
The Homegrown Show. Sunday nights at 10 with Lori Steele.
I wasn't eye-banging her.
Man, I was.
Only on KOMP 92.3, the rock station.
Welcome back to the Homegrown Show. I am Lori Steele. If you're tuning in late, the Solid Sons are my in-studio guests. We're chatting with them about their new album, Ungodly Hour, that's coming out this Friday, October 23rd. CD release party happening at Vamped. It's free to get in. It is 21 and over, and it starts at 9 p.m. We've been doing some tracks off of the album, some live stuff here in studio. We're going to do some more live stuff in just a bit, but first, we're going to do something else off the CD. This is a song called Speak Easy. There's a little voice right in the very beginning. Where did that come from?
The song, if it wasn't there, it just kind of starts, and it's quiet enough to where if you aren't really paying attention to it, you could miss it. Or in Jim's case, it kind of freaks you out because you didn't know that it was there.
Yeah, the first time I heard it, I didn't know it was like I heard the song obviously, but he didn't tell us about it. So like, it freaked me out. I heard it in my headphones, and I was like, "Whoa, what the heck is that?"
But yeah, I saw it as a fitting introduction to the song, and then it just I heard it both ways, and I went with the one with the little weird voice in the beginning.
Okay, you're going to hear the little weird voice right now. It's brand new music from the Solid Sons called Speak Easy. My in-studio guest tonight on the Homegrown Show.
Talking in circles again, melting with adoration. God's among these ordinary men. All of this information, misguided purpose and plans, infinite stimulation, taking everything that I don't know when our story ends. We'll make amends, at least until then. Leave yourself, speak easy. This broken and bent to will. Spiritual masturbation. Idle hands won't keep the devil still. Trials and tribulation over before it's begun. Tired of revelation, punishment and fear for what we've done. Well, I don't know when our story ends. We'll make amends, at least until then. Leave yourself, speak easy. This is no place for sympathy.
That's brand new music from the Solid Sun, Speak Easy. We're debuting tracks tonight that I don't think have gotten airplay at all previously. So brand new stuff here. World debut, if you will.
Yeah.
The new album is actually going to be available Friday, October 23rd at Vamped. These are tracks off of it. It's called Ungodly Hour. I'm going to actually put you guys on the spot like I do with all of the guests that come in for a CD release party. I want you guys to give a special deal to the Homegrown listeners that go out to your show on Friday. Now, this deal is only good for the show Friday, October 23rd at Vamped. So if they're listening now and they go down to the show and they want to get some of your merchandise, like the new album, what kind of deal are you going to give just for the Homegrown listeners?
We got a deal for you.
So we got CDs for 10 and shirts for 15. We're gonna be selling wristbands and stuff like that, stickers, buttons. But I would say for KOMP listeners, let's do a T-shirt, a CD, and a wristband for $20.
But you got to mention that you listened to the interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
the deal is only good if, in other words, it's not going to be your merchandise special that night. People have to come up and say, "Hey, we heard your interview. We want to pick up the new disc," and then they can get that. And it's a free show, so you're not paying a cover to get in to check it out. So you've got the money to do that. What's the lineup order going to be that night?
It'll be 1 Ton opening the show. We're gonna play pretty much the album, and then House of Zombie is going to close out the night, like the after party. We're all just going to be hanging out, and
we'll sign anything you want if you want us to sign stuff, and
if you want that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you're going on second then.
If you'd like us to ruin the CD, we will sign it.
Wasn't your playing on it ruining it enough?
Yeah.
Sick burn.
Burn.
Good burn.
The CD is called Ungodly Hour. There's a couple more songs I want to try and do before we get out of here, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we will do some more songs and wrap things up. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. It's the Homegrown Show. Stick around.
2 hours of nothing but local and unsigned music every week is supporting local music.
I just like to keep it local.
Doing it for almost 2 decades is unmatched dedication.
Local bands. They rock out.
The Homegrown Show with Lori Steele.
Well, you know, it sounds like she needs a friend.
Sunday nights at 10, only on KOMP 92.3, the rock station.
Welcome back to the Homegrown Show. We're just about out of time, but I wanted to try and do a little bit more from the album. Tell me about the song "The Little Things."
Yeah, it's really reflective of that kind of groove that we can get into as a band. It's very funky. Jim's bass line is epic on it, and it kind of makes you want to move. My intention with the song was to write a song that you want to dance to, move around to, and really get into, even sing to, that you have no business doing any of that to. Lyrically, there's no reason you should get into this song. That's it.
I don't know if that's a ringing endorsement.
No, it was an experiment. I wanted to write something really.
It's an angsty song that sounds happy.
No, it's just really truthful, and it touches on mental illness, which is something that I don't think that we're really comfortable talking about. And if I can get a room full of people to sing along with me a song about attempted suicide or mental health or depression or anything like that, and maybe bring some light to some of those problems, because even if you haven't dealt with it, somebody has. And
looking at you, Brian.
Yeah. So really serious stuff, in my opinion. And then I really wanted it to feel like a really not serious song. It's really upbeat and grooving. So
it was an interesting challenge when he brought it to us.
Yeah.
This is the song we're talking about. It's called "The Little Things," brand new stuff from the Solid Sons on the Homegrown Show.
I could not help myself. This is what I do. I tried to kill myself to be somebody new, and I guess that it worked. It's a little thing. All the little things.
Brand new stuff from the Solid Sons. The Little Things, the name of that one. Yet another new song off the new album, Ungodly Hour. They are releasing it Friday, October 23rd at Vamped. House of Zombie and 1 Ton Project helping them out on that one. It's a free show. It starts at 9 p.m. It is 21 and over. Vamped on Sahara, just east of Rainbow. And again, if you're listening to this interview and you're planning on going down to the show Friday, October 23rd, let them know at the merch booth that you heard the interview, and they will hook you up with the new CD, a t-shirt, and a wristband for $20. So best of luck with the show and the new album.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
And of course, keep me updated for the next one. I'll be interested to see how you progress from this one to the next one, and we'll do it again.
I think we're interested in that as well.
Till the next time, as always, thanks for listening. Till the next time, take care. See you. Bye.
Eat me. I'm done.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
She's gone. Oh my God, she used me. I was used. I was used. Cool.
And don't think it hasn't been a little slice of heaven. Because it hasn't.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.
This concludes our broadcast day.